Alright, fellow Arrow fans, now it's time to look at Invasion Part 3. So, let's take a look at it. Excuse me. Oliver is seen running in the forest on the grounds of the Queen Mansion. He gets inside, where he meets and kisses Laurel, and they are about to be married. However, it's true that Oliver is actually living in an alternate reality, where he never became the Green Arrow, alongside Thea, John, Sarah, and Ray. In the real world, at the Arrow Cave, Curse, Renee, and Rory are wondering where Oliver is, when Felicity shows up along with Cisco Ramon. Cisco asks some of the Olivers in order to find out where Oliver and the others are. Renee doesn't have to discuss with metahumans. Cisco learns that they seem to be in some kind of alien spacecraft. Cisco has a piece of Dominator tech, hoping that your company could provide more insight. Inside the false reality, Oliver is seemingly living his happy life, but as he talks to others and sees his parents alive, he starts having memory flashes about his true life. Robert takes Oliver to get a tuxedo. Sarah helps Laurel moving her stuff to the mansion, but she too gets a memory flash when she hugs Laurel. Back at the Arrow Cave, Chris attempts to use his 3PO chip in order to download information on the alien device. It seems to work, but then it overheats, and the device explodes. Leslie says that they need a special kind of chip made for NASA, which has been sold by Dr. Laura Washington. Renee, Chris, and Rory are eager to go get it from her, but Lucy feels they need backup and calls for additional help. Oliver and Robert are walking in a back alley. Robert just convinced Oliver to take up a job at Queen Consolidated. Oliver looks at a building called Smoke Technologies. He feels something isn't right. Suddenly they are attacked by a mugger who demands their valuables. Robert tries to calm him down, but Oliver, without hesitation, steps in front of Robert. Just as the mugger is about to shoot Oliver, an arrow appears, and Green Arrow also appears and the mugger is taken by him. Oliver has more doubts about all of this. At the suspected location of Washington, Renee arrives late, so he's agreed to be spent at the site with a flash. Supergirl also drops in, but Renee disregards her. Inside the plant, Raytheon asks Renee about his problem, and Kara is also interested. Renee feels that he despises metahumans and anyone with superpowers, thinking that superpowers are bad. He goes in alone and is attacked by Washington. At the mansion, Oliver's memory flashes become more frequent. He leaves for the police station. In the real world, Renee finds Washington is about to be hit when Barry speeds him out of the way. Then begins speed punching her and leaves her disoriented for Kara. Kara and Barry do a dual strike by Kara throwing her and Barry making a quick punch on her. Rory and Curtis are amazed, and Renee thanks the two heroes, having now seen that not everyone with superpowers are bad. At the police station, Oliver has a hearty talk with Quentin, and when Oliver sees a familiar sketch made from the hood, Oliver starts to have flashes about him actually being the Green Arrow, and discovers the elevator to the Arrow Cave. He goes there and encounters Felicity, along with Green Arrow, who is John Diggle. Oliver tries to tell John about true things. John tells him to leave, which he does. In the rehearsal dinner for Laurel and Oliver's wedding, Sarah meets with Ray. In this reality, they never met before, but they both have flashes about their time together as legends. Back at the real world, Chris helps Washington as Cyberwoman. They get to extract the data with the chip they pulled from her. Meanwhile, the is having talked with Moira, and as she hugs her, she has a flash about Moira being killed by Deathstroke. Oliver returns to Laurel the next morning. She and Sarah are disappointed, since he missed the rehearsal dinner. Oliver claims he wants to marry Laurel quickly. Diggle suddenly arrives, and the two head outside. Diggle says that after Oliver left, he too has had flashes about his real life. Both come to the conclusion that the Dominators have trapped them in some kind of false reality, and agree that they need to get out from it. But Oliver thinks that if they do, the Dominators will attempt to keep them in here. Diggle asks how, and right after, Deathstroke appears to fight them. Oliver and John hold out until Sarah arrives and kills them, which leaves her wondering. The three return to the mansion, and Sarah first denies the possibility, but then Oliver asks her what is the last thing she remembers. As she thinks, she remembers how she fought Oliver under mind control, and how Oliver, John, Ray, and Thea were taken. All three now agree that they are seeing isn't real and agree to get out. They think the Smoke Technologies building is their way out. First, they need to get Ray and Thea. In the Arrow Cave, all the team managed to get out from the Domer Technology some senseless code. However, Ray says it's similar to Hebrew and Torah. Felicity decrypts it and learns that it's giving coordinates in negative form. Felicity realizes Oliver, Thea, John, Sarah, and Ray are in space inside a Dominator mothership. Oliver, John, and Sarah go to the party, where Oliver denies all this to his parents and gives them a hearty farewell. Sarah meets with Ray, and Ray realizes he is also living a false reality. Sarah also tells Thea, and when Oliver comes to her, Sarah leaves the two alone. Thea doesn't want to leave this reality, and Oliver is seemingly unable to convince her. They meet others outside. The rings are projections of Oliver's enemies from the past: Malcolm Merlin, Deathstroke, Damien Dark, and Hive members. Thea also joins after realizing she can't lose her family, Oliver. The fighters take other projections and defeat them. Laurel arrives, and both Sarah and Oliver give her a teary goodbye, with Sarah finally accepting that she can't bring Laurel back, and some things can't be fixed. The heroes arrive at Smug Technologies where they find a portal. They exit, and as Oliver is about to leave, he hears his mother's voice. He turns around and sees visions of all the people he loves, everyone was saying what they said to him in the past about him being a hero. He leaves. All five wake up in the Dominator ship and manage to board an alien ship to escape. As they attempt to leave, they are unable to fly the ship. The Dominators get pursued, and things seem bad. Suddenly, the Wave Rider appears and throws the Dominators off and beams the hero's ship inside. Sarah takes John to be fixed by Gideon, and the rest go to the bridge. As Ray repeats what he heard the Dominators say, Gideon translates it and it roughly means, "The weapon is almost ready." Gideon then reveals that the Dominator mothership is heading directly towards Earth. Dun dun dun. So let's take a look at some trivia from this episode. This is the first episode of the series not to feature Josh Shigara after signing on as a series regular. This is also the only episode of Season 5 where Prometheus is not featured or referenced in any way. He also did appear in Dangerous Liaisons, but was shown on a video game and mentioned. This is the first appearance of Sarah Lance and Ray Palmer on Arrow since Lost Souls and Brotherhood, respectively. This marks Susanna Thompson's first appearance as Moira Queen since Season 2's Seeing Red, and Jeremy Sheridan's first appearance as Robert Queen since Season 3's The Return. This episode marks Destro's first appearance since The Return. However, he wasn't shown without his mask and didn't say a word, due to Mano Bennett not reprising the role. However, Deathstroke could briefly seen without his mask in Thea's flashback from Seeing Red. This is the second episode in which Barry Allen appears only as the Flash. The first one is My Name is Oliver Queen. This last episode to feature Neil McDonough as Damien Dark, as he doesn't come back for the rest of the series, wants to bring onwards for DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Evelyn Sharp neither appears nor is even mentioned in this episode. Mark Guggenheim explained in an interview that this was done on purpose, due to the revelation in the previous episode Vigilante that Artemis had joined Prometheus. Thus, the directors removed Artemis from this episode to prevent a distraction to the fans. This is the first episode of Season 5 that doesn't include the flashback storyline. As the 100th episode of Arrow, this episode included clips from different episodes through the series. The title card goes through several Airhead designs from past seasons, from the first to the newest, as a reference to being an anniversary episode. The beginning of the episode, when Oliver is running, is a reference to the first scene of the very first episode of Arrow and the Arrowverse, the pilot, a trend that continued at the start of every Arrow season's first episode until Legacy. After they shower, Oliver asks Laurel, "Will you marry me?" She says her engagement ring and responds, "I think I already answered that question." This dialogue is copied from the Season 4 episode Sins of the Father, from Oliver and Felicity's conversation at the end. When mentioning how they have to find Oliver and Company, Sisko makes it clear that he's now referring to the 1988 film Oliver and Company that was inspired by the novel Oliver Twist and starred the voice of Billy Joel. The bow Sisko used to track down Oliver is the bow Oliver used in the first season. The hose in which Thea gave to Oliver is the same gift Hosen gave Oliver. Same gift Oliver gave Thea after he returned from Lian Yu in the pilot. Laurel's canary necklace in the dream world has a Black Canary's logo from the Birds of Prey in the comics. Chris refers to his 3PO processor before imitating C-3PO from the Star Wars franchise. Chris claims to feel like Elliot from E.T. before exclaiming, "It's working! It's working!" Queen, the protagonist from the 1982 film E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Bartender Joe, who gives drinks to Laura and Sarah at the rehearsal dinner, is played by the real-life father of Katie Lotz. Laurel and Quentin are shown drinking alcohol in the dream world, indicating they never became alcoholics in that reality. This refers to the stasis that the heroes are being kept in as a little alien, a little Star Trek, J.J. Abrams style. Referring to the 2009 film Star Trek and 2013 sequel, Star Trek Into Darkness, both of which were directed by J.J. Abrams. In the dream world, Tom was also seen to be a doctor in Chicago. This reference to Colin Donnell's role in Chicago Med, who portrays Dr. Connor Rhodes. Furthermore, this was the reason that he could not return for a full appearance. However, Donnell's image was digitally inserted during the scene where Oliver returns to the real world, much to his surprise. Donnell posted on Twitter, saying that although he did not appear, he had seen the episode weeks ago and praised the scene between Oliver and Thea, giving kudos to his Chicago Med reference. In addition to Donnell, the producers planned to bring back Roy Harper for the episode, but Colton Haynes wasn't available. In the dream world, Roy would have been Thea's boyfriend and her date to Oliver's wedding. Felicity and Ray are revealed to be engaged in the dream world, just as they were together in the third season. Interestingly, the dress Felicity wears to the wedding as Ray's +1 is the same dress Ray gifted to her in Drawback Bow, where the relationship was first established. As the heroes fight the villains of the dream world, they are thrown back to deaths early in the series, and the characters gain some form of closure. Sarah kills Damien Dark in the same manner that he killed her sister Laurel, thrusting an arrow into his stomach. Oliver kills Deathstroke, who killed his mother, by shooting an arrow into his eye, just as he did with the real Slade Wilson. John Diggle fights a ghost, which his brother Andy became. Ray kills a member of Slade and Wilson's army, who killed his fiancée, Anna Loring. Thea fights and kills her father, Malcolm Merlin. Red Joker suggests that they click their heels 3 times and say there's no place like home to escape the dream world, a reference to the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz has now been shown / referenced in all the Arrowverse shows, DC's Legend of Tomorrow Turncoat, and Aruba. The Flash welcomed with Part 2 and his crossover with Supergirl and Duet, Supergirl and Triggers in Not Kansas, and Arrow in Invasion. After being rescued by the Wave Rider, Thea states, "Simply twice as many spaceships as I've ever thought I'd been on. Thought I'd be on." Even though she referenced being on Zero, Thea was on 2 spaceships, which is definitely more times than she imagined. Rachel Gold and Prometheus are the only main antagonists of Arrow for the present-day storyline, who did appear in the dream world. However, Rachel Gold briefly appeared in Sarah's flashback from Left Behind in DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Firestorm makes a cameo in Sarah's flashback from the previous part of the crossover, Invasion Part 2. This marks the first time since Rogue Air that Firestorm appears without Martin Stein / Jefferson Jackson / Ronnie Raymond. Oliver waking up in a world raised in Green Arrow is similar to episodes of Supergirl, The Flash, and Batman the Animated Series. In the Supergirl episode For the Girl Is Everything, a Black Mercy causes Kara to wake up in a dream world where Krypton was never destroyed, and she never came to Earth and became Supergirl. Diggle even brings Oliver's attention that he has everything in the dream world. This itself is a nod to the comic story For the Man Who Has Everything, which was adapted as an episode of Justice League Unlimited. In the Flash episode Flashpoint, Barry lives in an alternate timeline he created, where he stopped the Reverse Flash from killing his mother, and despite having his speed, doesn't need to be the Flash. In the Batman the Animated Series episode Perchance to Dream, Bruce wakes up in a world where he's not Batman, his parents are alive, and he's engaged to Selena Kyle. Jessica Ramone says to Rory Reagan that he's the second Rory to know, but the other one is a jerk, probably meaning Mick Rory. And now finally, let's take a look at a goof. During the scene where Laurel's getting dressed for her wedding, her hands inconsistently switch positions between shots. So overall, I think this is a pretty good part of the crossover, and yeah, it's kind of to see what Oliver's life would have been like if he never had been the Green Arrow. So yeah. So overall, I give Invasion Part 3 5 arrowheads out of 5. Well, tune in to the final episode of the day, What We Leave Behind. So until then, in the words of Oliver Queen, you have failed this city.